Welcome back, everybody.
Hello, everyone.
I've got my brother here today, and this is one that I talked about here and there. We're going to do a comparison between two brands of biscuits and gravy. Now, I've tried a ton of different breakfast stuff, but very little stands up to Mountain House breakfast until Peak came through and put out this biscuits and gravy. And you haven't tried this, but you are very well acquainted with the Mountain House, right?
Mountain House is typically what I choose for everything.
Yeah.
Except for my skillet. I can't think of the brand, but there's a skillet that Mountain House just doesn't compare to.
Really? Okay. So we're going to try these both side by side. And I wanted another person too because the calorie content is pretty nuts. Between the two of them, we're talking about like 1,600 calories between both of them.
And one is literally half of the other.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. So, again, it's been a while since we've talked about Mountain House. This is their biscuits and gravy. Nutritional facts. So, yeah, 560 total calories in the one package. The ingredients list is kind of a little bit longer, but they're going through the gravy mix too, which has a lot of different stuff in it. And then our Peak Refuel, which we did somewhat recently. Nutritional facts, 1,100 calories in one package.
Which is nuts.
It's nuts. In the ingredients list, a little bit shorter there, but, not overly short as well. So, we'll go ahead and, I guess, just start opening these up a little bit. Now, I want to catch your reaction to the opening of that one, because you didn't watch the video, right?
No, I didn't.
Okay, open that up, and then tell me what you think when you open it up.
As far as aroma?
Nope, just look. You'll know when it...
Oh, my.
There's whole biscuits.
Wow. That's impressive.
Oh, no, wait, they broke the one. Oh, okay.
That's actually really impressive.
So, as we saw in the prior video, you cannot rehydrate that biscuit. You have to break them up.
Yeah.
And I tried just to show just to show people, but it doesn't work. And then Mountain House does these cubes, which do rehydrate okay. But yeah, we kind of have to break this biscuit up in order for it to, to rehydrate. And it's fairly easy to do, but it kind of sucks because you look at that biscuit and it's like, dude, there's two whole biscuits in there.
If I'd known that before I opened it, it would have been one of those things you just kind of crumble it in hand.
Yeah, that's why I wanted you to open that one, just to see what you thought. So let's go ahead and we'll add water. General disclaimer, as always, I pretty much add the amount of water that I think. But for newbies, go ahead and make sure that you do, or try the instructions on the packet. But my rule of thumb is I usually try and make it generally the consistency that I would like it to eat, and then add a little bit more water. Now with the biscuits and gravy, it does require a little bit more stirring, and that will start to thicken up. And as we kind of look at this, it seems a little runny, but this is going to thicken up nicely. And you, of course, know this better than
I've learned
most.
that the hard way before.
Exactly. So look, we're already just thickening up, just trying to get all this mix. Oh, look, there's a big old pocket of mix. Now it's going to get real thick. So the problem is because these have larger biscuit chunks or bread chunks, it's going to soak up a lot of water. So I like to leave it just a little bit thinner than what I would normally like to eat it at, and then check it about halfway through its time. And then, if you have to add a little bit more water, that's cool, but you can't take the water away. So I think that this is okay. Actually, no, it's still super duper thick. Look at that. Look at how thick this is. This is definitely one that falls in the category of like pastas and rices. They just suck water. They just suck water. So, I guess before we actually get, that's good. That'll be good. That'll tighten up pretty good. So, what is your general opinion of the Mountain House? Like, what do you like about it? What do you dislike about it? Is it the perfect meal?
Honestly, I haven't had a bad Mountain House, so I can't say there's anything I really dislike about it. It's a good price. The variety's awesome. Their pastas are good.
Well, just about the biscuits and gravy.
Oh, the biscuits and gravy. I thought you meant as a...
Well, no, as a whole, that's good too. But I'm not endorsed by Mountain House. Get out of here with that shit.
No, it's just a decent flavor. Not a whole lot of seasoning, but it's super filling. It's right in the calorie range that you need in the morning, I feel like. That's my only issue with the fuel. It's going to be way too much.
Yeah, for sure. What about the taste? What do you like about the taste of the Mountain House biscuits and gravy?
Honestly, the gravy itself tastes like exactly what I would want to make at home. It's just perfect. The biscuit chunks are not my favorite personally, but the gravy is just perfect.
So judging by the biscuits, the way the biscuits look in the peak, what do you think? I mean, do you think you'll like them more or less than the Mountain House biscuits?
I would have to say I would like them more. It just looks. I mean, let's be honest. You're not really getting a true biscuit with Mountain House.
That's super thick. Yeah, you're kind of getting more like croutons.
Yeah. It's almost more like a stuffing in a way.
Yeah. Okay, that's good. That's pretty thin. It's a little bit thinner than what I'd like, but I think it'll tighten up real nice as we go along.
Yeah, you can't heat up the little tiny travel cup for that. You use like half of the water for that one. It's crazy.
Yeah, 100%.
My only thing with the peak is who wants to eat half of that and then seal it up and save the other half for later? First off, how are you going to reheat it? You're going to have cold, nasty biscuits and gravy. Or do you just want to go full pig mode and eat it all at once and then try and hike 13 miles?
Yeah, well, I mean, at the end of the day, I wouldn't want to start my day with that. I could end my day with it maybe, but yeah, it's going to be interesting. So let's go ahead and let these sit for a bit. We'll come back, we'll try the taste test, and we'll see which one we like better. All right, so both of the biscuits and gravy should be good to go. Unfortunately, I think I added a little bit too much water to the peak. It's a little bit more runny, so we'll just have to be careful with that. The Mountain House, I think, is good, about the consistency that we would want it. But we'll see. It might have tightened up, from when I looked at it a couple minutes ago. So carefully dump that one. I'll dump this one. And then, we got out both trays. We're bringing back the old silver tray for a cameo.
Nostalgia.
Oh yeah, that one's about perfect. That one's a little runny.
Yeah.
It's cool. Just throw a little bit more in there. Just don't overfill it. Yeah, that's cool. All right. Well, which one you want to try? The control first. We both know what this one tastes like.
Yeah.
Let's try this one. If you get crunchy bread, it's not my fault.
I've had it before. Wouldn't be the first time.
That bite there, yeah.
Perfect.
Perfect. That's good. It's got a good sausage taste to it.
Slight bit of pepper.
Yeah. I mean, really, the only thing is it's definitely more floury.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely a lot thicker, floury sauce, gravy, and the little crouton things. They can at times be a little bit crunchy, but which actually I don't mind.
It's not a problem for me.
Oh, there was a nice big piece of sausage I got there. 2.
So here.
Good amount of sausage, seasoned just right. You could put some hot sauce in there and it would be cool, but you don't really need it, I don't think.
No, it really doesn't need anything.
All right, ready to try a new one?
I am.
Let's get in here, man. Look at you, cleansing the palate. It's good stuff.
Yeah.
This has little tiny chunks, but a lot. You can visibly see a lot of chunks there. It's just dripping on my hand.
It burns.
This tastes more like a home gravy.
It's funny, even though it's a little bit more runny. Got a little bit of crunch on that biscuit still.
A little bit. The
Which
ones
is
that I
good.
got were pretty good. It's got more of that buttermilk flavor to it, to me.
I'd almost say the gravy's better, but the sausage is not.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Yeah, agreed.
As far as the biscuit itself, though, do you see much of a difference? I mean, does it make a big difference? To
Oh,
you?
dude, the sausage is 100 times better in the Mountain House.
Yeah.
It's got so much more
Experiment a little bit
flavor initially and then lingering. I think there's a little piece there. Yeah, you got some.
I'll experiment here because I feel like I'm going to give it to peak for the gravy.
Let's try a nice big biscuit too.
Actually, pretty good mixed together, honestly.
I'll tell you what, I don't know if I could call it because they're both really good, but I will say Mountain House does have better sausage.
Yeah, by
but
far.
the flavor on this feels a little bit more homemade.
Well, you can see, even like I say that has a peppery flavor, you don't see any pepper at this one. You can see the little bits, like you can tell they actually took their time with this a little more. I don't know.
That's a tough one, dude.
I mean, ultimately, it really depends on what's the most important thing to you in biscuits and gravy. Is it the gravy? Or is it the sausage and biscuit itself?
Man, I don't know.
Because, like, the biscuit portion of it, it's kind of hard to describe it, but it's almost the consistency of a burnt biscuit. A little bit. A little too crunchy for me. I like it softer, fluffier.
Well, now,
And obviously
but
freeze-dried.
granted, this probably could have maybe sat a little bit longer. I might have crushed the pieces a little bit. So for that I get, but honestly I think that's a good point though, realistically, because this was basically a biscuit. This was basically croutons.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think man, I don't know. You think we need to go rating base, or you think we can just point to the one that we like better? Maybe I should try a little bit more first.
Yeah. It's just, the more you have the biscuit on this, the more you kind of lean towards it. I hate to say it. It's just the croutons are so good. And that sausage is perfect. I mean, you give that to someone, they wouldn't know that was freeze-dried sausage. They just wouldn't.
I don't know.
Can we just mix them together and say that?
Well, they both have some strong points. For the Mountain House, the pieces, little crouton pieces are good. The sausage is better. The gravy itself is maybe a little bit more floury, but it's still really good. Nice pepper. This one, I think that the biscuits are good. I think that the sausage is not as flavorful. I think that the gravy might overall be a little bit better because it tastes a little bit more like homemade gravy as opposed to like overly floured gravy.
And that's bias. I mean, obviously, there's going to be some people who like the gravy more on the mountain.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's one of those almost too close to call.
Yeah. So as far as on the trail, do you want the bigger meal?
No.
That does kind of have to go into it as well. Which one would you want to take with you?
Yeah, I would probably take the Mountain House just on trail because 1,100 calories is a lot. And I also, yes, you could save it. It is a zip top. I guess you could even take some out of the bag and put it in another bag. So it's not as big a consideration, but sometimes after a full day,
You don't want to mess with it.
you just don't want to mess with it.
Yeah.
So you'd have to maybe pre-mess with it. So I don't know if that's a huge consideration for me, but just strictly based on taste, I don't think that Peak unseats Mountain House, but I do think that it is as good an option as
they
Mountain
have their
House.
place beside Mountain House.
Yeah. But yeah, as far as dethroning the king, I don't think that they do that. I think it's just kind of like the king and the queen here. I think that they're very complementary, but they're different. They're two different things. So
It's nice to have the variety. It's nice not to just say Mountain House is the best. Everything else is
Yeah.
kind of crap.
well, yeah, it's great to have another brand that stepped it up and made a really good biscuits and gravy.
Now I want to try the skillet. That's the true test.
We'll maybe come back to that at another time for sure. But just for this, they're both really good.
You can't go wrong with either one.
Yeah. So I mean, I said that, but which one do you think you'd rather have? Just realistically.
It's probably just because I've had more history with the Mountain House, but I'm probably going to go with that.
Okay.
Unless, I can share with someone on the Peak, I would consider it then. Going with my family,
Sure.
let my boy have the other half of it, sure, I would probably go with the bigger one. price-wise, there's not a huge gap either, right?
So I don't remember exactly what the Mountain House goes for, but it's
around
usually
8-ish.
it's usually sub 10. The Peak is like 13, so there's a slight price difference. So if you're really penny pinching and you need to save a $5, you go with the Mountain House.
Yeah.
If price really isn't like a huge consideration, either or would do. But
Right.
yeah, the Mountain House is slightly cheaper.
Unless you're again, if you're like sharing it with someone, it ends up being a little bit less.
Yeah, for sure. You're gonna
all
split the
situational.
cost.
Well, I'm just saying, if you're gonna share it like with your significant other, your
Yeah,
kid or something,
100%.
it's a great deal for the price. I mean, let's be honest, that's probably closer to the range of 16 to 18 with the amount of food.
With the
based on
amount of
most other
food and
brands.
this is only like a bit, like
Oh yeah, there's
you
a
know
ton
there
left in
there's
there.
still a ton left in there. So yeah, I mean either or, I think you're gonna be a winner. I think
But
that they're
Mountain House is awesome.
yeah. Well, Mountain House is great. Peak is also good. But anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed this comparison. It was sort of one that I really wanted to do myself. Leave in the comments below. Give me what your favorite is and why. And any suggestions for future videos. If you'd like to...
Especially breakfast.
Yeah, for sure, especially breakfast. And if you have anything you'd like to send in to be reviewed, just, P.O. Box is down below. If you'd like to support the channel, Patreon link is down below. And don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll catch you on the next one.
See you
See
guys.
ya.